Hey there! Time for day two! That's right, time for day two of the Endless Night scenario here on the Direct Action Gaming channel. We're just going to pick up right where we left off. After having finally finished uploading the first one, we're going to try to do another one, at least one more today, if not another one. Production stuff y'all don't really need to know about. We're at day two. Quick summary of what happened last time. We lucked out. Day one went okay, actually, for once. Had me somewhat paranoid that things were going to go very, very badly, but nope. The only thing that really happened is we got a little fatigued. Both our characters got a little fatigued, and that's it. Some close calls, but hey, we got some good stuff. We've got a decent amount of water and food. We even have some moonshine. The only kind of bad thing that happened is we lost one of our knives in the night raid phase. Pavel, our defender, did not get wounded, though. Even if he did, Saveta did manage to find some bandages, so there is that. We just put Saveta out to scavenge because I figured, well, if we're going to have two night raid phases, we want a capable defender. Pavel, who does have one prowess, which means I can re-roll that. He had a knife. That meant we could roll the melee die. So yeah, that worked out pretty good. Plus, with the board up that we were able to do, he did not get any wounds, thanks to some lucky rolling there. So that was great. We're definitely going to do another board up today. That is for sure. These board ups are really helping, not just for night raid defense, but also to help manage the cold, in addition to the simple heater that we have. So yeah, a combination of luck and I guess I think these fittings that we have here are pretty. They come in pretty clutch for early game to be able to manage things. We got the bed to help manage fatigue. We got the chair to help manage misery potentially. We've got deadfall trap and rainwater collector to try and get some food and water on a semi-regular basis, and simple heater, of course, to help manage the cold. We don't want the cold to get out of control, or we're going to start getting illness. And that is not great, because then you need to have medicine to try and manage that. So, Harry's, let's get started. Ooh. Yeah, day two. We have to get started with the morning phase by drawing this day's event to see how that affects things. So I think, yeah, we already. Oh gosh, it could get really cold because it's already 2, and we have to add another 2 because of harsh winter. And what does this event do? Snipers. Oh gosh. So snipers says place this card on the findings pile. At the beginning of the scavenging phase, roll the red combat die for each scavenging carry. Oh my gosh. That's not good. Alright, so if nothing else, we've got to get 3 more cold tokens. 2 because of harsh winter, and we add 1 thanks to this snipers event. So I guess harsh winter needs to be up in the cold space, actually, not the findings pile. That's permanently there. Ugh. And we have snipers now. Place this card on the findings pile. So the only way snipers goes away is if we get another event that would also be placed on the findings pile. Otherwise, it's just there. So at the beginning of the scavenging phase, roll the red combat die. if they were hit and how many... Oh my gosh. Characters may use their prowess to reroll the results. God damn. That means scavenging is going to be infinitely more dangerous now. Because the red combat die... 2. Just constantly getting 2. Okay, finally that was nothing. And nothing again, I think. All right. Harry. Okay, so that was the event. What do we do in the day phase? Now, each character has 1 fatigue, meaning each character is only going to have 2 actions. I was kind of planning this out in my head and thinking that perhaps, first of all, definitely one character, Pavel, needs to go to the workshop. And we're going to do another board up here. So that is 1 component and 4 wood. So we get rid of this 5 wood. Yeah, I put this here. So we have 1 left. We have to use 4 from that. And then 1 component. And we can do 1 additional board up, which will help with defense. Night raid defense. And trying to keep the shelter warm. Okay. Because that's basically like -2 cold tokens. So instead of 5 up there, we basically have 3. We also want to do the deadfall trap. So Savetta is going to go to the deadfall trap and use some chems. So we have 1 chems that we can use there. So after that, we can then take a weight token. Harry. That is just Harry's table. All right, so we get rid of the chems. Chems are gone. Place a weight token there. So that means we can try to resolve that at the end of the turn to see if we can get some more raw food. Well, we'll get anywhere from 1 to 2 thanks to the cage trap. We will get at least 1 raw food, no matter how low that roll is. Okay, so that happened. We only have 2 wood left. Okay. 2 wood left and 2 actions. Man, it really sucks that scavenging is... Goddamn sniper's card. Send Savetta out there and... I mean, she'd get shot at twice, really. Each scavenging phase, I'd have to roll that again. Oh my gosh. That is so harsh. It's almost like we just can't go scavenging again. Well, 2 more actions. how should we spend them? I was kind of thinking maybe somebody could go outside and we might get a third person that way. We can afford a third person since we have 4 water and 3 food. We're about to get potentially more food from the deadfall trap. It's just a shame we only have 1 knife to actually defend ourselves in the night raid phase. We do have this additional board up, which is great. Damn it, that sniper's thing, that really messes everything up. If I have somebody go outside, somebody else should probably start a fire. I mean, we could either go outside or have somebody poke about to get more wood. Because we're going to have to spend the last of our wood to try and start a fire to reduce the cold a bit. We probably should manage that cold. I guess we're going to have to do that. Pavel does have prowess, and he's got inventory 4. So we could have him go scavenging without a knife, and he would have at least a somewhat better chance of not getting shot than Saveta, and he could even carry more stuff back with him. Could have him take the bandages just in case he does get hit. All right, let's try that. So we'll put Saveta up on the simple heater, and she uses 2 wood to start a fire. And then we're going to have Pavel go down here to poke about to see if he can get us some more wood, because we are now officially out of wood. Okay, we get a 7. And that means we get 3 wood. Okay. 3 more wood. That's not much, but that's something. It's better than 0. Okay, so then we have to ditch these 2 wood up here, and we get to remove a cold token. Meaning we now have 2 in the cold space, thanks to our board ups. That should be a lot more manageable, but it depends on the fate card that we draw, because I know some of them, even if you only have 1 cold token in the cold space, you still get an illness, and we have 2. So, all right. That was the day action phase. And so now I suppose we're going to put Saveta on guard duty and give her the knife, which means she's not going to be able to re-roll. We're going to put Pavel up here with bandages, and at the beginning of the scavenging phase, roll the red combat die for each scavenging character to determine if they were hit and how many wounds they suffered. My God, it could be anywhere from 2 to 3 wounds. All right. Harry. Also, I want to check on something real quick. Let's see. In combat, let's see if if it's a result of a red combat die roll on the target. Harry, no, 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 Harry! What did you grab? What did you grab, Harry? No. And the location deck. Oh gosh, Harry. The whole gosh darn thing fell off. Where's the... Okay, he's got a cold token. Cold token. Where's all the location cards, Harry? Oh, right. Okay, so that happened. All right, we lucked out. We got nothing. Pavel dodged the bullet this time. Okay. Gonna have to roll that again for the second scavenging phase. Oh, and we also have to increase fatigue to 2 for each character. Meaning tomorrow they're both going to have to take a nap, which means each one is really only going to have like 1 action, basically. Where should we go? Probably the small apartment building. Oh my gosh, with special findings, it's 1 through 5. Nothing for the small apartment building. Odds are you don't find any extra stuff. Can go to the supermarket, though. Should we go to the supermarket? I think we're going to the apartment building. We'll send him to the apartment building. All right, so another 14 cards. Let's see what kind of stuff we can find this time. And let us hope the night raid phase doesn't go too sideways and bad and awful and terrible. Savetta has a knife, but she does not have prowess. We do have 2 board ups, so that's something. How much stuff would we lose, though? Oh, I also forgot to do the dusk phase. We need to remove raw food, which means we get to remove hunger from, I guess, Pavel. Pavel is no longer hungry at all. And we remove a vegetable. And 2 water. Completely forgot to do the dusk phase. Okay. All right. So, got to take 14 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Harry, you little bandit. You had to snatch one of these cold tokens. Yeah. Just double checking to... Actually, there wasn't another one on the floor somewhere. There's only 4 up there. Because there was 5, but we did that fire in the simple heater to remove one of them. Okay, so... Let's draw the top card. What happens? It says someone's here. Raise the noise by 3. That's a great start. Noise is already up to 4. Next card is search the heap. So we can return. We're probably going to have to play it the same way. I mean, Pavel has prowess, but he's unarmed. So, and we've got these snipers to worry about. We might be getting wounds just going to a scavenging place. So we're going to have to do, once again, the safe option every time. So we're going to have to return 2 exploration cards and raise the noise by 1 so that we can search the heap. So we take 2 cards off the top, return them, and then also raise the noise by 1. So it's now at 5. But we can now take the top findings card and look at the heap chart, which says, hey, okay, we get a book and some components. Yeah, we get a couple mechanical parts. All right. All right. And that is not terrible. Books would be great. Not only can you use them to start a fire, better yet, you can use a book with the chair to drastically increase the chances that you're going to reduce that character's misery. For each book on the storage, add +2 to the roll, which is great because you need like a 6 or more. So just sitting on the chair isn't great. Oh, for each book in the storage. Okay, that's cool. So that means you don't have to like use a book and throw it out. Like you just keep books in the storage and that increases the effectiveness of the chair. That's pretty interesting. Okay. Anyway, so we found that, and we get to roll for special findings as well. Maybe we find something? We do get a 9. That means we found something. That is a cigarette. We get precisely 1 cigarette. Okay. Neither of our characters is a smoker, though. Still need some coffee just in case Savetta has that habit pop up, which last night, thankfully, it did not. Anyway, so that was the heap that Pavel searched. Next card. Oh, great. Tough luck. Just roll for the noise. Okay, that's not great. That's not great at all. We need a 6 or more to avoid an encounter now. And we get a 1. Great. Oh my gosh. Okay, what is it? What is it? It's homeless. All right. A wreck of a human being begs you for some food. If you give him, by discarding from the findings pile, green, yellow tokens with a total value of 5 or more, we'd have to give him a bandage. This could potentially lower our misery. We'd have to give him our bandages, though. If you do not give him the tokens, and you have them in the findings pile, and/or there is something we could give him, those bandages. What's Pavel's empathy at? 6. Okay. Result equal to or less than a character's empathy. Well, we need those bandages. So we're going to say nope. I ain't got nothing. Normally, I would just give him something. We kind of need those bandages, though. If we did, that would get rid of Pavel's misery entirely. Possibly. Okay, we're going to roll, and his misery will raise if we get 6 or less. And we got a 4. Wait, so equal to or less than, yeah, raise their misery by 1. Okay, Pavel is now at misery 2. Because the poor homeless guy needed something. He had bandages, and he said, nope, sorry, we need these. Could have been worse, though. Could have been worse. Okay, so we tossed this out. That is not showing up again. At least it was not a gang of thugs or a bunch of soldiers with guns that just automatically attack. So Pavel is just a little bit sadder now. We do have a book, so he could maybe sit in the chair tomorrow. I don't know. All right, so that happened. Next card is... Oh, and we put this down to 0. It noise resets after an encounter occurs. So, rubble... This place doesn't have rubble, and we don't have a shovel anyway, so we toss that. Next card is Reality Impact. Okay, so a thing is going to potentially happen. This says, draw a card from the colors deck. What is the top card in the colors deck? It is gray. Okay. Harry, what's going on, buddy? Check the number with that color on the exploration chart of this location's card. So what's the gray number on... I think that's 270. All right. So we go to 270 in the Book of Scripts. Harry. Come on now, buddy. Don't be knocking everything over. Okay. $270 says, Harry, please don't jump up here again. We've gotten used to searching abandoned apartments and houses. This would be better if I just read it. We've gotten used to searching abandoned apartments and houses, going through whatever remains of someone's life. Harry, stop jumping up on the table, buddy. However, this place was a surprise. An avid game collector must have lived here. A board game lies on the table, abandoned in mid-play. Many other games are scattered on the floor or are sitting on broken shelves. We stand still for a second, somewhat surprised that people used to have time for such things. It's interesting. Finally, we approach the table and put the game back to the box. We take it. Who knows? Maybe it'll come in handy. Write down board game 270. I think that's Roman numeral 2 on a blank token and place it on the findings pile. Treat it as a gray token with a value of 2 and a weight of 0. Harry. Let's play. During any dawn phase, if no character has died that day, cross out one line from the token and see 1789. Oh, okay. You can use the board game to maybe make people feel better? Harry. All right, so I've got to find a blank token here and write down board game 270, and then two. I suppose they're slashes. Yeah, board game 270. Harry, please don't knock that over. No, Harry, no, don't. Oh. All right. Wait token was here. Okay. All right. So you put the colors token away. Yeah. And it says to put this on the findings pile. So we got a board game. So that is something, I guess. And place this card under the current location card. Why? Just get... great. There we go. Okay. Next card. Next card is a closed door. This location does not have a closed door, so we toss that. Next card is search the furniture. We can return 2 exploration cards, or yeah, we're playing it safe. We're still playing it safe. And that means we're only going to have 3 cards left after we do this, but we don't have to take a risk. We just take a little bit of extra time, do it the safe way, and then we can search some furniture and see what we can find. Okay, we get another knife, a shell, and a cigarette, and some random stuff. We get that knife back that we lost last time. Okay. Knife. Shell is for a shotgun that we don't have. And get another cigarette. For smoking, we don't need to do. Because nobody's a smoker. Okay, so we put these on the findings pile. And so far, I think Pavel's inventory is still not completely full. We have 2 mechanical parts and a knife now. We don't really need to take both mechanical parts back. All right, so let's roll for special findings and see what else we might find. And it's a 1, so that's nothing. Okay. All right, so we put this back into findings. And toss that card and draw the next one. Bars. Nothing. Next card. Door. So I guess we're going to raise the noise by 1. Because it gives you the options to... I'm still not quite sure about this. Supposedly, you can peek through the keyhole. You can return 1 exploration card to look at the next card from the unknown deck. That just sounds really silly. Because you get rid of 1 card just to see what the next one might be, but you're going to have to draw that one anyway. So, I don't know. Just raise the noise by 1. So now it's at 2. And then there's 1 card left. And that's yet another reality impact. Okay. So yet another random thing is going to occur. So we draw colors. It is red. Okay. One thing I learned, thankfully, is the colors deck, it's not just colors. Some of the colors mean things. So red often depict drastic scenes. So I decided to leave that in there, but the color black represents a blind, merciless fate. So that sounded not great. I decided to leave that out because the game is hard enough as it is, but we kept red in. So we'll see what this red event is. Then draw a card from the exploration deck. There isn't... Oh, yeah, from the exploration deck, not the unknown. And that's going to be for red. Which one is red? Yeah, it's 243. Okay. 243. Let's go back to the book of scripts. What happens now? Okay, children are crying all through the city. Almost no one pays any attention to the sound anymore, even us. When we saw a weeping boy in a rubble-covered yard, we lowered our heads and picked up our pace. But the kid saw us and called to us. There was hope in his voice. We had to stop. Swallowing tears, the kid told us that his dog ran into an old pipe in a crater blasted into the middle of the yard. It's been almost an hour and the animal still hasn't come out. The boy thought it might have been scared of the gunfire. We were more worried about the boy than the dog. He should go home, but we knew he wouldn't leave without his pet. The pipe looked narrow and cracked. So our options are... we try to explain to the boy that he shouldn't stay here any longer and then move on. If he wants to survive, he has to grow up quickly. Okay? Or we can say, we'll try helping you. Choose one character, well, that's Pavel, who will squeeze into the pipe and try to find the dog, and then we look at 12. I want to help the kid and the dog. I really do. But if we just say no, then scavenging is over and nothing bad happened to Pavel and we got some stuff. Then we'd have to go to Night Raid and see what happened to Sveta while Pavel was off doing all this stuff. Or we could keep it going just a little bit longer and try to see what happens with the dog. You know what? We're going to see what happens with the dog. Because we already spurned that homeless person. Maybe if we help the dog, something good will happen and it'll make Pavel feel a little bit better. So let's go to 12. What does it say on 12? Okay, it says, I squeeze into the pipe, quickly discovering that it's very narrow. I crawl slowly, inch by inch. It's getting harder to breathe, and the stink is getting worse. A corner. I turn it with my last bit of strength, and then freeze in place. The rotting corpse of a slight woman is sitting in front of me. Her face is petrified in an expression of pain. Why did she climb down here? Was she running away? Was she looking for shelter? In any respect, she remained here forever, and an emaciated mutt is gnawing on her hand. Her exposed bones gleam yellow. I can barely stop myself from throwing up. I try to convince the mutt to come with me, without success. Choking on the stench, I grab the animal and pull it with all my strength away from the body. The dog is thrashing, growling, biting my hands. It is surprisingly strong for such a skinny creature. It calms down only when it hears its owner's voice. When I exit the pipe, the boy happily gets his dog and leaves. A grateful look from the kid is my only reward, and I'm left with horrifying memories and wounds on my hands, which, even though they're small, quickly start to fester. Great. We raise Pavel's illness by 1, and we don't have any medicine. So that's cool. That was the reward we got for that. We do not have any medicine. We have bandages, but we do not have medicine. Okay. Well, that's what I get for being curious about the dog. That's what I get for taking a risk when I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, so now we see what happens with Sveta, and we pull the night raid. We get looters. It says wounds 2. That's covered by the board ups. So the good news is Sveta is not going to be wounded. Bad news is any 6 tokens / resources, starting with the most expensive ones. So we are going to lose the vegetable and the moonshine and the mechanical part, because those are the most expensive ones. That's okay. Let's see how many we can, because we're trying to reduce the damage here. Can we get lucky and roll a 3? Nope. So yeah, we lose all tokens. We don't have chems left. And since this is 4, one wood and one component, I guess? Yeah. That's not great. That's not great at all. That's what we lose from the looters. Okay. Colors back in there. We have to toss all of this stuff away. No more moonshine or vegetable or mechanical part or chems. Looters took all of that stuff. Okay. So that happened. Afterwards, remove this card from the game. So this one gets removed from the game. Looters does not pop up again. Okay, so Pavel will now return. And we get the knife, 2 cigarettes, one shotgun shell, return with the bandages, mechanical parts, and the book. Okay. So let's see here. Should we send Pavel out again to risk being shot? He's got illness. Is there a place we can go that might have medicine? No. No, there isn't. Mm. Hmm. We could not send Pavel out a second time. Have him sleep on the bed to recover all of his fatigue. Or we could do that with Saveta. Keep Pavel on guard duty. Pavel's illness may worsen to stage 2. But Saveta's fatigue would be taken care of already. And we wouldn't have to do another scavenging phase. But we would have to do another night raid phase. And we may lose all of that stuff that Pavel just got for us. Because we don't have much in the storage. If we take another card like that with a bunch of damage... could also just keep both of them on guard duty. Because we do have 2 knives now. We could do that. How about we do that? I bet you I'll do that, and then it'll be the memories. And nothing will actually happen. Could be that, could be something much worse, though. Either way, they're only going to have 1 action each next day because they're both going to have to take a nap. We have 2 water. If we get 2 raw food from the deadfall trap, that'd be awesome. No one would have to go hungry. Although, I guess if anybody needs to go hungry, it's Pavel, because he's not hungry at all. Okay, I think I'm getting ahead of myself here. So let's both stay here. If Pavel goes out again, he's also going to get shot at, and he's already got this illness going on. So maybe we should stop pressing our luck here. We'll keep them both on guard duty, and they both have a knife. Now, let me see how that works. I think that might mean that... let's see. In the night raid... roll a combat die corresponding to the weapon used for each character on the guard space. Okay, cool. So that means we would get to roll the yellow die both for Saveta and for Pavel. And Pavel has... he has prowess. So if he gets 0, he can re-roll it. So that's -2 already thanks to the board ups. And we have 2 people with knives. So... alright, let's pull the night raid and see what happens. Oh, but we also have to put all this exploration stuff back. And... things could be better, but they could also be worse. I mean, as long as we survive another day, that's something, I guess. That's all we really need to do is just survive with one of these people, either Saveta or Pavel, until the end here. All right, what does the night raid say? It's starving people. So that's wound 1 and just 4 tokens resources. Okay, so I kept Pavel here for nothing, basically. So we only need to roll 3, a total of 3 to keep all of our stuff, basically. So first roll, I guess, is for Sveta. And she does get nothing. So now Pavel has to get a grand total of 3 for us to lose nothing. Although it does say we can take any tokens or resources, starting with green tokens, meaning cigarettes that we kind of don't need. So it's not terrible. And Pavel gets a 2. So what that means is we only lose 1 cigarette. That's fine. We give the starving people a cigarette and they go away, basically. All right. So that was the night raid phase. So once that's over, and it does say to shuffle this card back into the night raids deck, not get rid of it. Okay, so once that is over, it is now the dawn phase. I think we bring this back with us as well. Also has a value of 2. I think it says something about we could use that in the dawn phase. I think I'm going to try that. Let's see. So we'll take our knives and put them back in storage. Pavel just passed out. Let's go back to 270. Let's see what this board game thing is about. I'm thinking it might help us reduce our misery, which would be great. During any dawn phase, if no character has died that day, cross out 1 line from the token and see 1789. Okay, so we're going to cross out 1 line from the token. And then we're going to check... let's see, 1789 and see what that says. I think that's pretty much all the way at the back of the book. 1789, 84. 1789 says, we decided to open the game we found recently, hoping it'd help us kill some time. Before we realize it, we start another game. We're mad at ourselves a bit. After all, we could have spent the time playing the game doing something useful, but we can't deny that playing this game made us get to know each other a little bit better. It also helped to forget about the war a while. We start to believe again that this will end one day, that life will go back to normal, that the city will rise from the ruins, that friends will once again meet in the evenings and spend long hours together in pleasure and not have to fight starvation, diseases, and death. Lower the misery of all characters present by 1. Okay. So that means we get rid of Sveta's misery entirely, and Pavel's misery goes back down to 1. So that's cool. All right. Something good for once. Okay. We don't have any meds. We just have bandages. So Pavel's illness might get worse here. Possibly several times over if we're not managing the cold here. So that could be very bad. Let's see. Helping that dog could have been the end of Pavel, possibly. So we've got to draw a fate card to see what that says, to see what's going on here. So fate card says, yes, we do raise the illness of all characters who did not do meds. Yeah, so Pavel's illness goes to level 2. Yeah, which means even if he takes a nap, he still has only 1 action left. Okay. We exchange the nearest location, which is the small apartment building. So that means that card goes back in the exploration deck. And we get the derelict squat as the next close location. God damn it. Where is... Okay. Pavel got a little more sick. If cold tokens minus board ups equals 4 or more, and it doesn't, because it's 4, we have 2 board ups. So at least that's good. Resolve weight tokens, then discard them. Okay, so we have this weight token on the deadfall trap. Unfortunately, we lost those chems, so we're not going to be able to do that again. And we get a 10. Okay, so that means we do get 2 raw food. Nice. Okay, we've got 2 raw food and 2 water. All right. So that will get rid of Sveta's hunger. Okay, so there's that, and we get rid of the weight token. Too bad we lost those chems. Could, in theory, use raw food for that. Could. Anyway, so... that was resolving the weight tokens. Resolve Spirit A. So once again, nothing happens, because Pavel's Spirit A is no effect. Sveta, if any character in the group is hungry, level 3, they aren't. Nothing happens there. And then shuffle this card back into the Fate deck. All right. Pavel's illness is worse, and we do not have medicine for him. That's not great. Okay, so that was the dawn phase. Although the last thing is to take a narrative action card. We're going to draw the top 2. We get... it says, got it. Play during the scavenging phase. When resolving a fighting's card, you also find a knife. We already have 2. Kick the door down during the day actions phase or during the scavenging phase. All right, we're taking kick the door down. Because this will mean, even though we don't have a lockpick, we might be able to open a closed door during scavenging. All right. So we got that. And that, my friends, is the end of day 2. So we now have precisely 4 days left. And we still have both of our characters. Neither of them have died yet. They're both pretty tired, and Pavel is getting pretty sick, and we don't have medicine, and that's not great. So we might have to risk Sveta going out to scavenge, and she might get shot to try and find some medicine for poor Pavel here, because we can't produce any, like, at home. That's not great. Could just not scavenge at all and keep them both on the door to defend during the night raids. We have enough food and water to last another day. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the next day brings with the next event and all that other jazz. But I don't know. Things are not looking all that great. We're low on wood. We're low on components, on just every gosh darn thing. We do have, in theory, enough food and water. We don't have any chems to use a deadfall trap again, so that's also not great. Someone is probably going to have to go out to try and find more chems and or some medicine, hopefully. So there is that. All right, that was day 2, y'all. I guess I'll see you again for day 3, and we will see what sort of fate will befall Pavel and Sveta here in the Endless Night. Take it easy, y'all, and take care of each other.